Testing 1 2, testing 1 2.
The Flipside of board games is sponsored in part this month by Peacekeeper Games, publisher of the puzzly game Gearworks. Take on the role of budding inventors intent on proving your mettle. Play your gears carefully as clever card placement helps you control areas of the board and reward the parts you need to build fantastical contraptions and score points at the end of the game. It's an interesting marriage of steampunk and Sudoku. A special bundle is currently available on their website, which includes a free deluxe playmat. And a new Kickstarter campaign will be running from March 12 to 31, 2024. Go check it out.
Welcome to another live review, everyone. I'm Sam Healy. Welcome to the Flip Side. I'm glad you're here. If you are here, please go ahead and chime in on the comments screen so that I can know that you're here. And I also want to make sure that everybody is aware that the reason I do these live is so that I can hear from you while I'm doing it. I could very easily just record myself, edited it, and put it up on the internet, but I want to hear from you guys as we go through this, so that's why we do this live. Tom is here. Hello, Tom. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Board Game Bree is here. Hello, Miss Bree. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that a lot. So we are going to be taking a look at World of Wonders. That's not the right title. It's called World Wonders, and it's by Arcane of Wonders. Duh. That's not it either. It's Arcane Wonders. Anyway, Zay Mendez, I think is what it's called. Maybe it's Z. I don't know. But I think it's Zay Mendez. But anyway, World Wonders, and put out by Arcane Wonders. A lot of good stuff that comes in this box. The production quality is really cool. I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now. It has a lot of really cool chunky bits in it, and that produces a really high amount of table appeal, in my opinion. So that's a really cool thing as well. Just some of the different board game stats we are going to look at here. And if you are not aware of Board Game Geek, you should. You really should know what Board Game Geek is. BoardGameGeek.com has a database of like over 800,000 games or something to that effect. A lot of games. Let's just leave it that way. And World of Wonders is there, currently ranked 980 on the Board Game Geek. It has a weight of 2.25 out of 5. So it's a pretty light game as games go, currently. So it's kind of really in that family weight level where some people in your family might find it a little bit difficult. But most of them will not. Most of them will be able to play the game. Whether or not they're good at it, that's left up to the individual. But it goes from 1 to 5 players, so it does have a solo mode. There actually is an automata deck in there that you can play against solo, which is fun. I did try it solo, and it is a very fun mechanism, a very fun way to play the game. So there's that, but it also goes all the way up to 5, and we'll show you a couple of ways that it allows for you to go up to 5 players in just a few moments when we get down to the table. It goes for about 50 to 70 minutes, and that's about right. It's about an hour as far as how long it's going to play and all that good stuff. The artist is Odysseus Stemoglu and Tom Ventry. Odysseus Stemoglu. I'm horrible at pronouncing names. I really should stop trying. But I wanted to give the artists the credit that is due them. So very cool. What have we got here? Well, we've got basically tile laying. There is that's really kind of the main mechanism you're you're kind of taking these different shapes, polyomino shapes, and I think that's the right word, and you're placing them on your map in such a way that you're kind of building out your city or building out your civilization, if you even wanted to put it that way. And you have to use a lot of roads. You have to sometimes take out some loans, but throughout the game, you're going to have the opportunity to build some of the very popular wonders of the world throughout history. So that's a cool thing as well, and we'll take a closer look at all of those in a little bit. But generally, you're using those polyomino shapes. There is an open drafting system where you're basically everything that can be drafted is out there and it's free knowledge. But what do you want to spend your money on? When do you want to spend your money on them? Those kinds of things are all questions that you're going to have to struggle with as you play throughout the game. Grid coverage is, that's part of the tile placement thing. I feel kind of strange that that's a separate mechanic. You're going to place the tile, and in so doing, you're going to cover parts of the grid. Well, of course you are, because you're going to place the tile on the map. So you're going to cover up part of the grid. So yeah, that's kind of it. What else do we have here? Square grid. Oh, really? Thank you. I know it's differentiating between hex grids and all that kind of stuff, but that's pretty there. And then you're going to be using gold for action points, and we'll explain that in a little bit as well. But that's pretty much the statistics of the game and kind of what you can be expecting as you look at the box. Nothing that you can't see on the box cover, but I just wanted to go over that just so that you could have that in your mind. Zay is correct. It's short for Jose. Thank you, Bree. I appreciate that. Steadfast here. I think it will be top 300 by the end of the year on BGG. Great game. All right, top 300. Well, where is it at right now? What did I say? 980. You think it'll jump 600? Oh no, 700 spots. Okay. Well, that's alrighty then. We'll let you have that. Nuno is here. Good to see you. Hello. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Bushman is here. Hey, Sam. Hey, everyone. Good to see you, Bushman. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate everybody there. All right. So let's go ahead and get down to the table and take a gander at the beauty that is World Wonders, shall we? Let's see. Just want to make sure everything is on the up and up there. It is. So here is a two-player game that is basically set up. Now, you can go from 1 to 5. I was saying that earlier. Basically, 1, 2, 3 players, this is basically your setup that you're looking at. If you add a 4th player, you're going to be adding this building shape, which is basically just a long rectangle, the same size as one of the roads. And then if you add a 5th player, you're going to be adding this kind of large U-shaped building over here as well. So 1 to 3, this is your basic setup, generally speaking, as far as the buildings that you're going to be able to use. Add a 4th player, you're going to be adding this one. Add a 5th player, you're going to be adding this one. But the game plays in a number of 10 rounds. That's the general way to play. Now, it is possible for the game to end before those 10 rounds, and that is if somebody gets their population all the way out to its maximum level here. And if that happens, the game will end at the end of that round, whether it's the 10th round or not. So there is a way for the game to end prematurely, but generally speaking, you're going to play out 10 rounds, which basically means you're going to go through all of the building tiles that are in each of these decks, and at the end of the game, you're going to score points. Well, what do you score points for? Well, let me show you, because that's what I'm here for. Let me get my phone set up here to do properly these things, because I am using my phone as part of it. So here we go. This is your player board, and then this is the map that's going to be on top of your player board. So you kind of get the idea of what's going on here. Right here is your population track. So if you get all the way into the end of it, you see how the scroll kind of ends there? That's to denote that the game will end as well once we reach that level. But once we reach the end of the game, people are basically going to score points that they may have gotten from getting their population all the way up. So if you get it all the way to the end, you're going to score 3 points. But if you get it just to this one right here, you'll score 1 point, then 2 points, and then 3 points. And that's just on this side. There is another side to this, but we'll talk about that later. Then you're going to look at your resource bars here, and you're going to score for the one that is the least out of the 3. So if you keep them equal as you move up, you're going to score a good number of points. But if you kind of don't do that, you're going to score a few amount of points. Then you're going to score points for the monuments that you've built, and you're going to score points for all of the natural resources that are left open and visible on your board. And then you're going to score points for all of your buildings that are completely enclosed on orthogonal basis. And so once you've added all those up, the one who has the most points is the winner. Solo is good. Bot isn't easy. That is correct, Bushman. Thank you for mentioning that. 3, 4, and 5. Robert Geislinger is here. Hello, Robert. 3, 4, 5. All right. Okay. Cool. Kabuki Kid is here as well. Good to see you. All right, so just taking a little gander around at the components. So you have these towers, then you have long roads, and then you have shorter roads, and then you have super short roads, and we'll get to what those are in just a few minutes. You'll notice that the 2-player board maps are different, and that is because there is one side that has a kind of lake in the middle of it, and then and that's kind of a basic for everyone to have basically the same starting things. But then the other side of it has rivers that are in different configurations on the board. And so you can have the same setup, or you can have different setups. You just choose what you want to do. There is 2 sides to the board. There's an A side, then there's also a B side. So there's some diversity there as well. Now you can see, you can take a look at all of the different wonders that come in the game. And these are really neat. They're just wooden components, but they're pretty stinking freaking cool. All right, so there is that as well. It has a wonderful table presence, but you get the idea. And then you have some of the cards over here, and I know this is all upside down, but I apologize. I'm just giving you a little bit of a closer look at everything before we kind of get back and take a look at everything else. All right, so as we're looking at the game, how does the game play? Well, I already told you it's going to play in about 10 rounds or less if somebody gets their population up quicker than everybody else. During your turn, you're going to have a number, you're going to be able to spend 7 gold, generally speaking. If you take out a loan, you'll be able to spend up to 9, but we'll talk about that in a minute. What do you spend your gold on? Well, you can spend it on a couple of different things. First of all, you can see that each of the different buildings have a different gold cost on them. So if you spend 2 gold, you get to take one of these guys and put it into your board. If you spend 3 gold, you get to take this T-shaped one and find a place for it on your board. There are placement rules. We'll talk about those in a minute. If you want to, you can spend 1 gold to buy this long road, or 1 gold to buy all 3 of these short roads and put them together. You can spend 2 gold to put this tower on your board somewhere because, again, that has to do with placement. We'll talk about that in a minute. If you think you need to spend more than 7 gold this turn, you can take out a loan, which will basically allow you to spend 9 gold in a turn. But the tricky part about this is that you have to take that loan out before you reach 7 gold. So you can't hit 7 gold and then on your next turn take out a loan, and now you can go to 9. Before you hit 7, you have to take out a loan that will allow you to go to 9. But when you take out a loan, it has to be paid back by spending 3 gold on a future turn, or it's minus 2 points for you at the end of the game. And you can take multiple loans throughout the course of the game, but they're fairly easy to pay back. Another thing that you can spend gold on is turn order. So you can pay 1 gold to go first, and Or you can pay 1 gold to go second. I would imagine you'd want to try to pay 1 gold to go first, but if that's already been taken, you can still pay 1 gold to go second. And then after that, if you have more players involved, then you're going to find out what turn order is based upon whoever has the lowest population, first of all, and then if there's a tie for that, then you look at how many monuments they have and so forth. There's a couple other tiebreakers in there, and you can determine turn order that way. Each person's going to start with 1 long road on their board, and it can be has to be put so that it's touching the bottom side of the map. You can place it like this, or you can place it going out. It really doesn't matter, and you can choose wherever you want to place it as well. I don't believe you can place it over the water, though, so be careful with that, but that's how that goes. Now, when you're spending this money, and we haven't talked about these yet because it's important for the other stuff. You're spending money to do all of this stuff, to add these different buildings to your or districts to your city. But as you're doing that, a couple of things here. I've already gone through all of these. The last one here is the wonders. You can purchase wonders and put them into your city, but they have requirements that are at the bottom. And then they also have a number of spaces that they have to be placed on. So let me take these cards over here and give you a little bit of a closer look with my phone once again, so that you can kind of have a good idea of what we're talking about. So as we look at these different cards here, you'll see that first of all, when you put the Shintenoji Pagoda in your city, it's going to get you 1 victory point at the end of the game. When you're placing it, it has to go on 2 green spaces on your board. It has to be next to a B-type building or district, and it also has to be next to or adjacent to a natural resource square on your board. So if you can satisfy both of those requirements, you can purchase this pagoda and put it onto your board where it meets those requirements down there. This one over here, the Port of Carthage, when you purchase it, it's going to immediately give you a bump up on your pottery stat down here. I don't even know what it's called. I'm sorry, Robert and Bree. But it also has these requirements. As you can tell, this is a little bit of a larger monument, and so it's going to have a little bit larger footprint. One of those that this shape is placed on has to be a water space, and then all the rest of them can be either water or green. Now, you also have to place it next to a road, and it has to be next to a M district as well, an orange district. So those are the different requirements that you have for placing these different monuments into your city. Now, what's the catch? Well, here's the catch. Whenever you build a monument, you have to spend the rest of your money. It's the last thing you're going to be able to do during your turn. Well, that seems kind of heavy-handed, doesn't it? Well, yeah, it kind of does, but at the same time, it introduces a really sweet tension to the game because you are buying some of the things that you want or need over here in order to purchase and place these wonders, but you're doing it in such a way that there's just so much tension there because you want to buy this and you want to buy that. And, oh, and I really want to go first next turn and I want to do this, but oh man, I really need that will fit exactly into my board exactly where I need it to right now. And there's this tension that you can see what everybody else is building, and you can kind of feel that palpable tension of everybody's waiting. Can I get one more turn in before somebody, or are they going to steal it from me? And that tension is one of the sweetest things in this game, I think. But once you have spent all of your cash, you're basically out of the round. One way to denote that is like, say if blue uses all of their cash, they just simply take their player marker here and move it off of the track to denote that they're out of the round. And then we can understand that the people who are still on the track are still taking turns. So you can do that. What are some placement rules? Well, this handy dandy player aid that comes in the game tells you roads have to be placed next to a road or next to the bottom of the board, which also shows kind of the edge of a road. So there's a lot of, not ingenuity, but common sense there. You can place it next to the bottom edge of the board because it looks like a road, and then roads can be placed only next to other roads. Then you also have roads can also be placed next to towers. So if you get a spot where you have you don't want to build right off a road, you want to place something else there, you could place a tower right next to it, and now I can build another road off of that tower, kind of like this right here. So roads can be placed to next other roads, the bottom edge of the board, or next to towers. Towers can be placed anywhere on the board, basically. There's no delineation against where you can and can't place a tower. I would probably say, though, that it can't be placed in a river or in the lake. Here we go. Where can you put your building tiles? Well, your building tiles can be placed next to roads. So it can go anywhere along the bottom edge of the board or next to any roads that you have in your map. Or they can be placed next to a building of the same color. So if I have this T district out here like this, I would not be able to place this here like that. But I could, if I wanted to, place it right here just like this because it is next to a road. All right. Now, if I had another purple, like say if this H was a purple, then I would be able to do something like this because the colors would match. But they don't match, so I wouldn't be able to do that. But if that one were purple, then I would. Yeah, clear as mud, right? So that's pretty much all of the different placement rules. The placement rules that you have to follow when you're placing out the wonders are all on the cards. So Petra here has to be placed next to 2 orange buildings. This pagoda needs to be placed next to a natural resource spot on the board and a B district. And then the Port of Carthage needs to be placed next to a road and next to an orange building. So that's pretty much that. How do you get population in the game? Because that's one of the ways that you can end the game, right? So how do you get population? Well, whenever you are moving your resources down these tracks here, whenever you pass, beep, 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 that will make your population go up. So beep, 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 that will make it go up again. And it goes up again, and so forth and so on. So that while you're moving this down, it goes up as you pass these points here. And then, one, so we go up again, and then boom, up again. And so if this is what it looks like at the end of the game, when you score for your resources, you would basically score 7 points. Because even though these two were up here at 10, your lowest one was right here at 7. So that gives you an idea of how those score. The points that you're going to get for your monuments are shown on the cards themselves. And then this means that any of these natural resource areas that are on the board here that are still showing, they haven't been covered up by something else, those will give you points at the end of the game. And then once you have all of your buildings, you count up your buildings that are completely surrounded, those will get you points. Whoever has the most points is the winner. All right, so that's pretty much that in a nutshell. Help, I'm in a nutshell. Let's see here. Darn ads, hate them. Sorry, Bushman. You missed me, probably because I didn't greet you either. No, I said hi, Tom. I did. You just didn't hear me, man. That's, you're getting old, dude. Just kidding, Tom. Let's see. Yes, roads can make a bridge. You are correct. Thank you for saying that. On the other side of the roads, you can make a bridge across the river. But notice that when you put a bridge across the river, you have to have one green. It has to be on one whole green square on one side of that water and one whole green square on the other side of the water as well. So just be careful of that. That is true. Roads can be bridges. Matthew is here. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Top view might be better. What y'all think? Maybe, but this does the job. Just weird. Kinda will be able to appreciate Three Wonders view. That was in reference to KK. Oh, my bad. Sorry. But like his floating camera. Well, it's not really a floating camera. It's basically a way for me to get a closer shot without having a static closer shot. So it does allow me to move around the board and show different things without having to get up and move the camera and all of that kind of stuff. So bear with me. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate that. Let's see here. You're stalking Sam too. No, I hope nobody's stalking me. I've been watching his streams so much recently. He's going to think I'm stalking him. No, I don't think you're stalking me, Bushman. I appreciate you being here. Wonder if it is good with 5. Well, I'll tell you this. I have played it with 5. And it is fun. It's fun with 5. It's fun with 4. It's fun with 3. It's fun solo. Let's go ahead and get into my pros and cons, shall we? All right, my pros. I have exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. All right, so one for each player. No, I'm just kidding. First of all, my first pro is component quality is very good. I wouldn't say that it is through the roof, but I will say this: those wooden monuments are freaking awesome. Period. End of discussion. Some jokes have been made about some of them, and I think that's kind of sophomoric and really shouldn't be done. But at the same time, to each their own. The monuments are awesome. They're just wood. They're not plastic miniatures. They're not any of that kind of stuff. And frankly, they don't need to be. They are super good the way they are. I like the fact that they are not only aesthetic, but they're also functional because they are the right sizes to fit on your boards to cover up the amount of spaces that they're supposed to be covering up. Exactly. They don't get in the way. They fit in amongst all of the other buildings like they're supposed to. So when I'm talking about component quality, I'm not talking about just, hey, that stuff looks cool. It's also functional, and it's also aesthetic, and it also looks cool. So I think the component quality is great. The table presence is off the charts. When you have this game in full swing and everybody's building wonders and getting all of those how the different colors play off of each other on the boards as people are building in those different districts, added to that, the monuments that are there, the wonders, it's just a great table presence. And I love how chunky those different wonder pieces are. So component quality is off the charts for me. Really, really good, and I really enjoy it. Again, I've played many other games that have, I guess you could say, better component quality, but these are great. Okay, so I think I would be doing it a disservice to overstate it on one hand, but on one hand, on the other hand, to compare it to something else that's very much different, I think would also be doing it a disservice. So for what this game is and for what it does, I think the component quality is great. My first pro. Second pro, really satisfying gameplay. Really satisfying gameplay. I love tile placement. I love grid coverage. And again, I hate saying both of those separately, but I guess I kind of have to. But when you're using those, when you're placing the tiles down and you're using it to build your city out in such a way that you are the architect, so to speak, I really enjoy that, and I find it really satisfying to do that. On top of that aspect of the tile laying and grid coverage aspect, the way that the monuments kind of just make it even more satisfying. It's just really fun, very satisfying, and that's why I love playing this game. Doesn't matter. It's one of those games that I could be in any mood and still want to play this game. But, you know, for a big miniatures game, I have to be in a certain mood to play that game. For a party game, I have to be in a certain mood to play that game. This is right smack dab in the middle of the spectrum where I feel like I could play this at any time, at any point. So I think that's great. Satisfying gameplay, that's number 2. Number 1, component quality is great. Number 3, buying your actions. Buying your actions. And I know it's not innovative or anything like that. It's been done before, but I kind of stole Joe from All Play's statement when I was playing World Wonders with Joe from All Play on the Dice Tower Cruise, and the point that he made, and it was so succinct, I loved it. The tension that the game has is centrally focused on using gold to purchase your actions. And it's further focused on getting those wonders, because you have to spend the rest of your money and you're done. That's the end of your turn to purchase those world wonders. And that tension is so awesome, because without it, it would be fun. Yeah, it would be great. It would still be satisfying. It would still have great components, but that tension that's there, because of trying to time getting everything that you want and then getting that world wonder before anybody else gets it before you that you're looking for, that's a really sweet tension. And it's a very lighthearted tension, if I can say that. It's not overbearing. It's not overwhelming or anything like that. It's just very, that level of tension is just so great. So kudos to Joe for succinctly putting that, much better than I just put it. But I do want to give props to him, but I absolutely agree with him. This game just would lack a certain amount of oomph without that tension that's brought in by that singular mechanism of having to spend the rest of your money to purchase your wonder. So I love that, and that's my 3rd pro. 4th pro, loans are easy to pay back. The loans are easy to pay back most of the time. Whenever I see loans in games, they're usually very useful, and they are in this game, but they're also usually very difficult to pay back for some reason. And I get that maybe you're trying to teach somebody a lesson about taking out too many loans or something like that, and you want that to carry over into real life. Let's not forget that we're playing a game. The loans are very useful. The loans are easy to pay back. You only have to use $3 to spend it, and you've got $4 other bucks at least to pay that back with. But they also hit kind of hard because they're -2 points at the end of the game. So, but that would be very heavy-handed if they were not so easy to get rid of. So there's that. That's my 4th pro, is that, you know, more often than not, loans are kind of heavy-handed in games, but not so here. You do need to take care of them. You do need to pay them back. 2 points, missing 2 points at the end of the game could be the difference between, you know, first and first loser. So there you have it. And then finally, my 5th pro for me, and it's a pro for me. I don't know if it'll be for you because I don't know if you've played it before, but this gives me a real My City vibe to it, and my family and I really love My City. So this is like a multiplayer. Now, My City is multiplayer, but it's kind of a legacy style game. This is a non-legacy style game that scratches the same kind of itch that My City does. So I think that's really cool, and that's one of the reasons why we really like that. We like My City for that satisfaction of placing tiles down and covering that grid and building out your city, and this has a very similar vibe to that, and so that's a pro in my opinion. Now, I have one con. One singular con, all right? And that con is that it can end before you want it to. And I don't like it when games do that, but at the same time, that's still kind of a pro for the game because I want to keep playing the game. I don't want anybody to end it prematurely because it's going to be best for them. Poo on you. Who cares if you win? I want to spend 2 more rounds playing the game. So I don't really like that. I understand why they did it because, I mean, if you've got 10, 11, or 12 population on a game, you will have had to get, I mean, at least, I would say at least 2 of your 3 resources down here past 10. That's significant. Well, no, let me say that's 3, 6, 9. Yeah, that's 9. And then you'd have to get at least 2 more past to 13. So I get that whoever gets up there, they're probably going to win anyway. But I just don't like it that it ends the game prematurely. That's my only con. And it's kind of a weak con because I feel like I just need to get over it. But I love this game. This is so fun. And Jess loves the game. JT loves the game. Everybody that I've played this game with, they've really enjoyed it. I have heard some people say that there's a problem with downtime. I don't think so. I'm usually so invested in what I'm doing, I'm not even paying attention to what other people are doing. But I have caught myself being also drawn in by how good somebody else's city looks. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's so cool. Oh, wow, they're doing really cool too. Oh, crap, it's my turn again. I need to think about what I'm doing. So the level of involvement, I just haven't experienced a problem with downtime. And usually downtime is something that I'm really kind of on my toes looking for because I do not like downtime at all. And it really hasn't given me that feeling whatsoever. So that's really kind of what we have going here. Let me see what's going on as far as what we have. Was a stalking joke. I'm glad you moved the phone camera slowly. Yeah, Tom, I know. You told me that already. Does the job. Love it. All right, very cool. David Brownlee is here. Howdy, howdy. Good to see you, buddy. Matthew Vincent says, it seems weird to have the Carthage boathouse without shoreline spaces, unless I am just not seeing the shoreline. The Carthage, the port of Carthage, you mean? Okay, well, here, I'll go ahead and show you real quick. I'm going to use the floating camera again. Everybody, take your Dramamine. Here we go. All right, so Port of Carthage. Let me just take a look at it real quick. So the Port of Carthage says this. When you are placing the Port of Carthage, at least one of the places that you set it in has to be in a blue or a water area. The rest of them can be green or blue. So, for example, if I'm placing this on the board here, I could place it right there, and I'd be good to go because this square is blue, and then the rest of them are green. I could also place it just like this because one of them is blue, and the rest are blue or green. All right, now I do also have to have it next to a road and a building, so maybe I would have to do something like that, possibly. So that would be a viable placement of my Port of Carthage. So yeah, there you have it. Hopefully that answered your question, but if not, my apologies. Let's see here. Wood biodegrades too. Okay, yeah, that's true. That's a good positive spin on things. That is good. In other words, good component quality considering the cost of the game, $50. Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Whole game revolves around wonders. That's correct. Just wait until the Mundo expansion for it drops next week. The tension on getting those wonders is going to be even higher. That's right. I remember you saying that, Mr. Geislinger. New expansion. Next month, I mean, not next week. Yeah, well, yeah. Bree, you scared me, Robert. He said, hey, what? It's happening next week. What's going on? I get it. The loans are basically borrowing future round actions from yourself and shouldn't make someone afraid to take them when needed. Absolutely. And that's one of the cool things that I like about it. They're easy to pay back, but they're super useful when you do take them. So yeah, that's good. Plus, only taking out loans that are easy to pay back seems like a good life lesson. There you go. All right. The look what I've created feeling. Exactly. You guys are catching it. Not wanting the game to end suggests that the gameplay is that enjoyable. That is exactly what it suggests, and that's why it was it was my only very weak con, because I want to keep playing. I don't want to stop, and I don't like the fact that it ends prematurely, or that it can end prematurely, because I want people, I want to play the full 10 rounds more often than not. When I hear people say there is an issue with downtime, I think it's people are not taking their turn while someone is placing a tile. That's probably true. Rado Cam. That's funny. That's funny. It's because I've watched Rado. So that's funny. How is the player interaction? Carcassonne can be vicious, but it's a shared playing field. Yeah. Well, there isn't. The lion's share of interaction is going to take the form of, don't take my spot or I will punch you in the nose. Don't take my building. Don't take my wonder. Don't take that. Don't do that. I'm going to do that. 15.2 nanoseconds after you chose to do it. That's the kind of interaction that you're going to have. I think it's healthy interaction. It is competitive, of course, but you can usually find a way to work around whatever it is that you're trying to do. If somebody takes that building that you were wanting, usually you can pretty quickly find a workaround for it. So that's what I mean by it's healthy interaction. I don't think I've never felt like I was backed into a corner and didn't have anything I could do. So there's that. There's a different kind of life tile placement happening in my house today. Finally getting the tiles in my bathroom replaced after a flood a few months ago. Well, that's a good thing, Bree. So tile placement for the win. Sam is using his droid to take close-up video. R2-D2 is the best. That is true. It is a droid, but I do have an iPhone. It's not an actual Android. But that is true. Twister4815 is here. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. I am. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. When Rado did it, I found it very annoying. I'm very sorry, Tom. I hope I do a better job than he does with the Rado cam. Rado is always more swingy with his camera movements. I try to be cognizant of not going too fast and doing that. So not wanting the game to end as a pro and a con. That's true, Kabuki. Thank you. Less player interaction and more player competition for things they need. Exactly. You said it much better than I did, Robert. Well done. Thank you. Don't you mean punch you in the throat? Throat punch? That's true. Different kind of tile placement. It is a good thing. Yep. Okay, I like the competition in games. I was concerned that players working on their own maps was more like multiplayer solitaire. Well, there is that aspect to it. You are very much not interacting with people on their boards. But once you've placed your tile, you can turn your attention elsewhere. You do kind of have to pay attention to what they're going for, so that for a couple of different things, different reasons. First reason is you want to try to get whatever they're going for before they do, because you're going for the same thing. That's one reason. Or you don't want to go for the same thing that they're going for, so you're trying to build out in different ways than your opponents, so that they're not going to take what you want later on. So those are kind of the two reasons why you really want to pay attention, and you don't want to be heads down the entire game. So take that for what it's worth. Another ad. Enough already. Sorry, Tom. Usually I'm going to have to look at this, because I usually have it to where ads are only supposed to show up every 30 minutes. And we've only been going for 44 minutes. So for you to have had 2 ads already, I guess it's possible. But I apologize. The The Brazilian Felipe Bueno. Good to see you, Felipe. The Brazilian pre-order came with a wooden mini of Christ the Redeemer, and the money coin is a heavy and beautiful metal one. What? Robert. Me likey. Me wani. Let me know if I can get my hands on that. I'll pay for it. You do it much better than Rado. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Isn't R2-D2 a droid, not Android? Yes, it is. That is correct. Good delineation there, Derek. C-3PO is an Android, though. Yes, that's correct. C-3PO has an Apple processor. You guys are crazy. Let's see. Continuity camera. I only have 20% remaining on my camera. Well, I'm not going to be taking any more shots of it anyway, so I'll go ahead and delete that and then disconnect it here so that I can save my battery life. But that has been, they always play work-related ads. Really? Interesting. I don't know why. I don't choose what ads get played. I can only choose what and loosely at that, the breadth of time in between them. So I do apologize that I'm just trying to earn a living over here. I apologize, and unfortunately YouTube is heavy on the ads, so I apologize. Are you getting the Deliverance game? I already have the Deliverance game. I was a backer, and I got mine in along with 3 t-shirts, the playmat, everything. I went all in for Deliverance, so I already have it. Ads are probably based on the viewer's viewing habits. More often than not, they are, if I understand it correctly. I didn't even get the special mini or metal coins. Those were exclusive to Brazil. Oh, that makes sense. Christ the Redeemer, it being exclusive to Brazil. Hats off. Well done. Slow clap. That was definitely a good idea. But metal coins and Christ the Redeemer special mini, I want those. I want those badly. So I'm going to try to find them, although I doubt I will, because probably the card's going to be, well, there's not that much. Yeah. There's not that much text on those cards. I wonder if somebody would be able to part with them. Probably would be a pretty penny. David Brownlee says, I don't see ads except when they are part of the stream. Maybe try an ad blocker or browser with ad blocking built in. I use Brave, David Brownlee says. Twister4815, what are your thoughts on the new Star Wars Unlimited TCG? Well, I'll be doing a review of that. I'll be doing a review of the starter decks. I didn't buy any boosters, but I'll be doing a review of the starter decks. We'll save that for another video. Even worse, Matthew Vincent says, I am watching work-related videos. Oh, my dear. I'm sorry. But I think we're about done here, unless anybody has any other questions about World Wonders. I'm going to go ahead and give my rating. In case you weren't paying attention throughout the entirety of this review, 2 thumbs, way up. I just think it's a super fun game to play. It's a super satisfying game to play. It has a great table presence. It has great mechanisms, great tension, and it's one of those games that I feel like I could play any time with just about anybody, because teaching the game is not difficult, scoring the game is not difficult, and I think it's just that cool. So, with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. 2 thumbs way up for World Wonders, and thank you, Arcane Wonders, for the review copy. I appreciate that, and hopefully you guys will have continued success from here on out. Keep an eye open next month, as Mr. Geislinger and Bree said, for an expansion to World Wonders. Ooh, I am intrigued. I know very little, but I hope it will be very good, and I think it will be. I don't even see some of those Christ the Redeemers up on eBay right now. Well, please, come on. Oh, I hope not. I hope the people that got them are going to keep them and use them. Sam needs big fake thumbs he can slip on. That would be cool. How's the rule book for World Wonders? Well, here is the rule book right here. And the rule book is well written. It does not have, tiny, minuscule text. It has a crap ton of pictures and illustrations to help you understand what it's trying to teach you. And it's just very interesting. And it also has, in the back here, a bit of history about each of the different monuments that are included in the game. So just really cool all around. The rulebook is good. There's nothing, there was nothing that was, difficult to understand or anything like that in the rulebook. So again, this just gets top notch points from me. I don't understand, other than just having different style and gaming preferences. I don't know why anybody would dislike this game. I think it's that fun, and it's that impressive as far as its table presence and stuff like that is concerned. Felipe Bueno says the player interactivity is highest when choosing the tiles. Yes, you always make someone happy or sad. In one match, I had a bidding war against a player because we always wanted the same ones. We both lost. And that's kind of why you want to pay attention to what other people are doing, so you don't keep working towards the same things that they're working towards. You want to kind of diversify. Sam needs big fake thumbs. Yep. Rulebook has some updates for clarity and the reprint coming next month and will be posted up on our site in BGG. Cool. Well, I didn't have any problems. So there you have it. Except for the one person who sells them to you. Except for the one person that sells them to you. Oh. Yes, that's correct. Yes. I get it, Bree. I get it. I said they should be keeping them and playing them, but yes, at least one person, please. But don't sell it to me on eBay because I don't want to overpay for it. I like short rule books. Yes, they are. It is short. Yes, a crap ton. Is that a like a metric ton? Sure. Or it could just be a crap ton. Board games expand while the wallet shrinks. That is correct. Very good. Crap ton is like an imperial ton. Yes. Very good. Thank you, Robert, for explaining that. I appreciate that. You may have mentioned it. What's the play length on World of Wonders? It's about an hour. The stats say 70 minutes. So, but you can easily shave 10 minutes off the game. But I would say you can pretty much plan on about an hour. Whenever you're looking to get it to the table. All right, well, we're out of here. Thank you, Robert and Bree from Arcane Wonders, for stopping by, and hopefully I did your game honor and duty. But I really enjoyed it. I really, really did. And if Jess were here, she would be beaming as well because she super enjoys this game. So there you have it. Thanks, Robert and Bree. Thanks, Sam. Thank you, Kabuki Kid. Thank you, Tom, for being here. And thank you, everybody else. David, Derek, Felipe. Let me see. I'm just going to go and say thank you to Matthew, Twister4815. Already said Felipe. Bushman, 714. Thank you for being here. David, Tom, already said all those. Nuno, thank you. Go For It Painting, thank you. Dejogo Mjogo, thank you. Thomas Christensen, hello. I didn't see you earlier. Didn't say hi. I apologize. Didn't see your name. I apologize. Steadfast, thank you for being here as well. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Tomorrow, come on by. I'm going to be doing a single player, a solo mode of Path of Civilization. Jess and I played at 2-player yesterday, and I was talked into doing it. Bushman just kind of twisted my arm, and kind of made me do it. No, he didn't make me do it. I just decided I'm going to do it solo because I'm intrigued with the game right now. So might as well strike while the iron's hot. Anyway, come back tomorrow for that. JT and I will be playing New York 2-player from Queen Games on Friday. So I'll get that scheduled later on today. But anyway, see you guys and gals on Flipside. Take care. Thanks for being here.